up against some stiff competition in Finland, but you can see them. They are enjoying themselves. Even though these games are tough, they're just happy to be here, and I appreciate that. And really, in Finland, again, gonna have to respect them. I think they have, though. Credit to the Finland side. They haven't been cocky, overconfident. I do think that they've, been prepared for Australia, and they have shown why they are the better team so far.
Yeah, a bit of dedication and work rate required for the Aussies, and that's what they're going to need here on Eichenwald. So, Finland on the defense to begin with. We're going to be seeing Taimu on the mate. It is something we've seen a number of players using, of course, throughout the last few months. Rose to dominance effectively, but we're seeing Yuki do the same on the attack, so we'll see how it works out. Almost identical teams, the difference being Himsy, of course, staying in on the hog.
Yep, as we should expect, he is just one of the best, a bit of a specialist at the Roadhog. Oh. His performance in the last game also showed us why. He was equal in damage with Taimu. We saw what Taimu was doing to people, right? Himsy was right there with him getting it done, just chipping away in Australia and making it very hard for them to catch a break. So, obviously now with Finland defending here, Taimu is going to be able to set up here. He can throw a wall down and isolate a few stragglers from Australia, or too many people that get ahead of themselves. That's where that wall's going to be really important here. On the Australian side of things, obviously they're also going to be working with the main Reaper, so ultimately they're going to want to bust their way through. It's going to be a brute force approach eventually. A sleep dart could be all they need to start this fight up.
Oh, but the hook goes out. Refs gets slapped in the face with that one. Himsy doesn't need to hook him in when the damage has already been done, and you can see that ice wall just separating the team. Anyone in between it is going to be in trouble. There's another hook going through, and decimation for Finland. Unfortunately, Australia forced to back away, and this is one of the top holes. We haven't actually seen too many teams getting stuck on this initial bridge, but it is a really tough task. A lot of people that played, obviously, in ranked in solo queue probably have got caught in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, and if you want to use a solo queue mentality, for example, it's a nano boost to a Reinhardt. That's the simplest way to get through this point. Now, refs, even if he does die on a push like that one, we'll probably have an Earth Shatter available, but that's what needs to happen. There needs to be a charge in. No nano boost fall coming just yet. Refs is going to go in, gets taken down, and Graviton Surge comes in. He's actually still alive, but Australia, it's a mere stay of execution lead. They are going to be picked up now as that Graviton does encircle.
Yeah, Heikari just gets taken down, and Kura, the last man standing, will fall. So Australia reset their positions. 2 minutes to go. Need to gather themselves up, gather their forces. Now, are they going to sit? Are they going to wait for Heikari maybe to get their ulti? You can see it's up in 5 seconds. Refs is going to have his ulti up, so this is going to be a good attack. This is the time when Australia need to strike. They need to make it work, but Finland are about ready to defend as well.
Australia are playing for the ult bank. That's the whole reason why they started those last 2 fights and went in. They wanted to try and charge up here. This main wall could be quite nasty as the whole hog was coming out there. It did take Turmo low, but not enough to take him down. Blitz are going to come in here. Earth Shatter as well. Now Finland is starting to flex their muscles a little bit more, and it seems it's more than Australia can handle right now. A decent Graviton Surge from Turmo, but where the heck was the rest of the Aussie squad? Refs finds Linksa, will be taken down by the shrapnel to the face of Himsy. And a Graviton with 4 people in it doesn't mean anything if there's no one following up with damage. Australia got completely segmented and cut out of that fight by the Blizzards. Yeah, the double Blizzard, in fact. Blizzards everywhere at the moment. Graviton Surge being used. But Heikari has his Death Blossom still available, as does Refs. So he might be able to get pushed in with a sound barrier attack here. Heikari's trying to build them up. They are stacked up pretty heavily. That's going to be a juicy target. You can see they're baiting it out. Heikari's like, I want to go. Where's my boost? I'm going to get it around the side. Is he going to pull the trigger? He's going to keep the left click going. Now he's going to find a couple of them on the ground. Will finally get himself the copter off the ground, and Yuki comes in. He picks himself up a couple of kills, and it looks like the Aussies may well have just captured the point. Their way through. Yuki with 2 important kills off the back, and Zappers has got nowhere to go right now. Himsy's throwing himself at the point, but no chance to get the whole hole going. Australia, patience pays dividends in the game of Overwatch, and they wait for the big ult bank, then they let it rip right into Finland's face, and it gets them the first point.
So where can they go from here? 3 minutes on the clock, moving into a very tough section. Honestly, you could say the whole thing about the whole map. It is a tough old map. This is probably one of the most challenging out there. Obviously, being the newer map, a lot of teams have still yet to completely unlock any strategy, but it's been around for a while. No one's new to this, and Taimu get himself positioned.
Yeah, I love his position.
Yeah.
It's just interesting where he's set up towards the left side now. I mean, it's going to be ice spikes. He can throw a wall in from here as well. Maybe didn't want to fall down, but regardless, he'd like to charge himself up another Blizzard here. Who'll have it after this fight. So Graviton comes in. With the wall coming up, it means that Finland can only access a couple of those Australian players. Look, the Blizzard comes out and responds. It has backfired indeed. The wall maybe not ideal from Taimu in Australia. Able to use that advantage. The fact that they were out of harm's way at the start of that fight, they respond 5-fold. They get themselves a few kills over this fight. They will be advancing further down the Eichenwald path.
The wall came in, but the wall and the biotic grenade managed to get through. The shield, sorry, and the biotic grenade managed to get through before the damage came through. So it was Turmo they were singling out to try and be the target. Kuro and Turmo and Yuki, actually. So obviously you got a shield and an ice block. They both got their own defensive forms, and it just backfired horribly by Finland there. So Australia giving a bit of free form, and now they're going to get caught in the Graviton Surge of their own. There's the biotic grenade going down, but not a great deal of damage to follow it up, unfortunately, and it will be the Finns that will come out on top.
Yeah, Australia were just met by Finland up on the top there. I'm not sure if they expected that one. Clever by Muzelk there as well. Going to make his way through. Himsy going to make sure he gets himself a little bit more of that ultimate charge, not allowing Muzelk to drop himself off. So, that was a Graviton Surge used by Turmo there, and yeah, not a lot of follow-up, I'll be honest with you. The Blizzard pretty much made it impossible for Australia to do anything else with what they had there. They were all clumped together. Fairly straightforward. Of course, the biotic grenade on top of the Aussies meant that there was nothing that Muzelk or Kuro could really do to keep them alive. Graviton, Earth Shatter being used on the low ground, so excuse me. He's going to go back in now as well. Looking for Muzelk, and he'll get him now with the left click to the dome. And it should be an easy one fight for Finland after the fact there. HeyKatie is already out of the picture, and Refs also follows.
Well, this is solid stuff so far from Finland. Just a minute to go for Australia. Now, they managed to break the deadlock, getting the payload moving, but can they reach that second point? They've reached the situation where, pretty much where Chinese Taipei reached against Korea in the moment ago. Just a little shy of it, and I don't think it's a goal that Finland are going to struggle to reach, unfortunately. So they need to go a little harder than this. The Blizzard comes out, they managed to catch a couple of people, but Taimu is off the side. Himsy pulls out the hook. Turmo gets himself one, but it's just all there is as Himsy blasts him with the whole hog.
Nothing you can do about that. Turmo just being forced right on back, and he's lacking teammates as well. He knows his goose is cooked, and he's going to head over the edge there. Australia have one more push left to go. They have a Primal Rage, they have themselves the Nano Boost as well. They've got a bit to work with here, but it's truly his last chance saloon. And the tricky part is that Finland are holding so far forward of the payload, or at least they were, that the Australians, even if they beat them here, they still need to run up to the payload and get that overtime going. They're not even going to get that far. Mafu comes in, it's going to be the Graviton Surge, and now they're going to clean up the rest of the Aussies here. You can see the Raptors desperately trying to stay alive. The Primal Rage just to keep this one ticking along.
Trying to keep it on the payload, trying to keep the overtime from falling out. He's got the help of a Genji as well, but Yuki's just struggling to keep alive, and you can see Musou comes in. He gets the sound barrier down, but it's no follow-up from it, unfortunately. It's a 3v6 situation. HeyKatie comes in, tries to get the Death Blossom off the ground, but it's just not to be. It is the Finns that will hold strong here on Eichenwald, and now it is their turn to attack. It's not a great distance, in all honesty, from Australia, and it is one you would assume Finland could reach with ease.
Yeah, definitely difficult for Australia there to, have peace of mind going onto the defensive side. Credit to them though, they broke that first point hold for the Finnish squad. It was maybe a couple mistakes here and there, but the Australian squad were patient. They invested a lot of time into making sure they had a good bank of ultimates. It's not necessarily the most efficient way to play Overwatch, just by throwing 5 or 6 ultimates in the enemy's face. But if you feel like you're not getting the job done with 2 or 3, you might need to go a little bit further.
So that's actually twice. I mean, there's Himsy. We've seen obviously his whole hog is 52% weapon accuracy. Now, is that the hook?
No, it's his shotgun.
That's not the hook. That's
it's
the shotgun. Yeah,
it's about 46% hook accuracy there as well. Yeah. So obviously it was a lot better on Temple of Anubis when we noted it at 80% after the first half here. But still, that's very good. There have been a lot of these hooks from Himsy, and his damage is pretty much only second to Mafu in that round. Mafu and Himsy, the two tank players there, the two NIP representatives, were definitely the biggest and hardest hitters in that half.
Something we've seen from Finland, and something that a lot of teams may take note of, is that's twice they've been caught out in a full team fight. Brazil did the same, and Australia have caught them, and twice it's nearly cost them. Obviously, we saw them getting caught. Both times, it's when they've gone aggressive. Both times, it's when they've gone on the attack, and it's kind of backfired on them. So maybe a little few missed calls. It can go wrong for you sometimes, but obviously they managed to regroup this time and make it work for them. So Finland are going to be in the attack.
Oh, is that my boy Elliot with the moves? Let's go.
So, yeah. Also, actually, the entertainer in the group, not the pro player.
Yeah, he's a content producer. I mean, to be fair, he does play a lot of Overwatch. I think he just recently hit that 3,500 mark in competitive, and he's been gaming for a long time. So, but he's always saying, I don't want to be a liability. I don't want to be a liability. But sometimes, honestly, he's a boon to Australia. He's learned a heck of a lot over the last week or so. But that may not be enough here as Finland looking hungry, out for blood. 94.56 meters is their task after catching this first point, and they're wasting no no time in aggressively positioning themselves here in the underpass.
A very different defensive setup from Australia, isn't it? You can see Finland, they were very aggressive, sitting out that bridge. They've already allowed Finland to come around this corner and almost at the payload marker. They're going to try and get the flank around now. They're going to try and go aggressive. Refs managed to get in on Zappis. Mafu forced away. You can see Taimu sitting passively right from range, but the rest of his team are falling. He's going to throw out that flashbang, but to no avail. Tries to get himself the shot on Takura, playing the Mercy, by the way, something we saw them doing yesterday, but unfortunately, he is the last man standing, and the rest of his team are wiped out.
And the Australians seemed happy enough for Finland just to creep ever closer. Once they managed to squeeze Heikadi in towards the back, and a quick pick-off, of course, over on Zappis, they were able to win that fight up fairly confidently. Now, Kura has himself a Resurrect available here, so even if things go wrong for Australia, there might be a get-out-of-jail-free card in the form of that ultimate. Yuki also on that Pharah now. Not a lot on Finland to challenge him. They've got Taimu, I guess. He needs to be careful of those hooks. So, you know, Yuki needs to play a little bit more passively. That's a great charge, though. Linksa does catch refs, but he had his eye shield. The fight will continue over the point as refs falls to Taimu.
Getting straight around the side, and unfortunately, it's Australia that are falling. The payload may well be unlocked already. The Resurrect comes through. Is it enough to get the backup? No, because the Earthshatter instantly comes out from Linksa, slaps them back on the ground, swings through with the hammer, and Heikadi doing what he can. He's in the Wraith form, but instantly comes a flashbang to the face from Taimu, and that will be the point captured by Finland.
And this is one of the reasons why we don't see a heck of a lot of Mercy anymore these days, is because she was actually tweaked so that people who get resurrected can act a little bit quicker, so the animation takes less long to resolve. The issue is that, and this is just an intrinsic problem with Resurrect, is that you know where the resurrected people are going to be. You just queue up a Earthshatter or some other AoE or ult, and you'll be able to catch them, and there'll be no chance for the resurrected team to respond.
The Taimu flank, he's creeping around the side. Are they aware? No, they're not. Oh. He gets Kura in the headshot. Thank you very much. Good night. Takes down straight away. So the little flankeroo working out well there. Now we're seeing Zappis in sniper mode, starting to get a little damage down. This is where the Ana players have the most fun, but there's going to be Turbo dropping down. Graviton Surge on the point. Is it going to be enough? The damage comes through. Heikadi gets himself one, and Yuko finishes off, but it's still not enough damage. You can see the Finns. They've got the shields. They've got the tankiness, and they're just keeping them at bay, even in a 3v4.
Tema now being caught in the Graviton as well as moves up. Not much you can do about that. And there's the Earthshatter. Perfect stuff by Linksa. He gets 2 kills and then catches 2 more players in the Earthshatter. I've got to say, for a player who doesn't play a lot of Reinhardt, Linksa has been improving so much over this week. I mean, ultimately, you've got a pro player mentality, the mentality of champions there. So this payload's getting very close. Australia might not even be able to get their lead.
No, it doesn't look like it. They're going to try and rush out here. I think we may need a charge from refs. They're going to make it. No, he doesn't even get there in time. Gets met by Linksa head on. The charge into each other.